Now let's talk about the formula. This is really my only give to you today, is a single formula for anybody who wants to start a business. And it's as simple as this. By the way, it's coming from a book, Al Rice, Jack Trout. It's been around for 25 years. It's thus the book about positioning. It's been used from everybody from Procter & Gamble and all the FMCGs to every startup in Y Combinator, Techstars, etc., including Wise Guys. And there's a structure. It's a formula. If you remember at the beginning of the workshop, I used my positioning statement. I said, for aspiring entrepreneurs or startuppers who have the following problem. So the formula is easy. For your target customer, the more specific, the better. Who have the following problem. Problems that are generic are not problems, although the wobbly table, I have to shake my head. But anyway, it is specific. Yeah, it does cause the water glass to spill. So for your target customer, who has the following product? Our product is, and then you describe what your solution is. It's astonishing when you have these early stage startups coming and pitching to us, and we say, but what do you do? And they can't explain it. Are you a platform? Are you a marketplace? Are you an app? Founders generally know so much that they get lost in their own thoughts. So part of our role in an accelerator is to help them distill it down to just the essence. So our product is, what is it? Tell me what it is. Then cite the breakthrough capability, presumably this cat litter box. It doesn't smell bad. It has an air filter. It has, keeps the sand in the box. The positioning statement also has a reference to the competition. And that reference to the competition is in your positioning statement. It's how you drive a wedge between what you do and how you do it and what else is available in the marketplace. And then lastly, what is your key point of differentiation? What are those hooks that are going to make somebody buy you or use your product? It's a really simple formula, and I'm going to walk through a couple examples that maybe you'll recognize. Okay. Boom! It's a simple formula, but it's a fully loaded formula, and I'm not going to go through this because we do this in okay, go ahead and take your pictures. You have to have clearly identifiable users. Generally speaking, these are not, okay, they can be companies, but more likely they're the end users of your product or service. Also, in the first line of your positioning statement, when you define your target user, you are de facto also describing who is not your user. Yeah? So for cat owners, that obviously precludes dog owners. So the whole framework is all about narrowing down to a specific target group and a specific problem set. Okay, who have the following problem has to be instantly identifiable. When the target user sees it, his head goes up and down and says, wobbly tables, hate the wobbly tablers. By the way, who hates wobbly tables? Okay. That was not who personally hates wobbly tables, but which persona doesn't like wobbly tables? For whom is that a problem? Restaurant owners, for example.
And the clients.
Clients of the restaurant owners. Okay. I'm guessing we've narrowed that one down. So the previous picture is probably mostly for restaurant owners. Okay, description of the product or solution. If you can't describe it simply, then maybe you need to work on that. It has to be straightforward and oversimplified. The breakthrough capability also needs to be understandable. It needs to be in human terms, not in technical terms. The reference to the competition. I love this piece of the formula, because every positioning is de facto also repositioning your competition. As I mentioned before, it's about driving this wedge. How do you delete or reposition the old brand or the incumbent? This is the 10x mentality of startuppers, which is, how can I beat them at their game using my solution? and talking about it in the marketplace in a different way. Let's see, what's a good example of that? Ah, yes. I understand in the afternoon we have a company that is in the milk and dairy products business. Yes, there she is. Okay. Can't wait to talk to you in more detail in the afternoon, but I was thinking about your business last night after just quickly going through the list that Yona provided. And, you know, I was thinking not from your perspective, but from your competition's perspective. And not to beat up on one of the teams, but this is the nature of competition today. It's brutal. And narratives, how you talk in a marketplace, it's purposeful. It's by design. I want to steal market share from you. Yeah? So you're in the milk business. If I want to steal market share, and by market share, I also want your shelf space. Yeah? Because shelf space is where the eyeballs are, is where people buy in the shopping centers, etc. It's brutal. When I'm thinking about the competition, how do I want to delete or reposition them? I'm going to make up some assumptions. I have a new dairy substitute drink, and I want to steal market share from the milk industry. How am I going to delete them in my positioning? I'm going to go out in social media and I'm going to amplify the problem of lactose intolerance. And for all those people who eat too fast, drink too much, don't eat well, and they have a tummy ache, I'm going to convince them that that's lactose intolerance. And by doing so, I'm going to position myself as an alternative dairy product for those who have lactose intolerance. You see where I'm going with this? It's called a manufactured need. Positioning isn't all fun and games. It's also an absolute brutal game because the consequences are big-time market shares, big-time money. So, yes, question, finally.
Isn't there a risk when you reference to competition that you will bring up and somebody will compare it and then they'll stay with that competition, which they wouldn't do before?
Very good question. The question on the front row is, isn't it risky by mentioning your competition because you're bringing their products to mind? And maybe the person who's listening to it will say, but you're not a better solution. Well, the answer here is, the presumption is, if it's a really innovative business idea, it's better. And you can tell me exactly how it's better. Do you solve the problem more efficiently? Do you save more money for that target user? Do you target a subset of your competition's target group and you address it better? You know, this is all about margin. It's all about white space. Are they neglecting a certain segment of their target user? Okay, so I love the competition piece. And then, of course, the last bit is the key point of differentiation. If you're different and if you're solving a problem, you potentially can own a new category. And when you own a new category, this alternative to dairy as a new category, it's so easy to market. Anybody with a tummy ache, convince them that they're lactose intolerant, they start to consider you. The first step towards building a prospect is consideration. There's a ton of stuff inside this framework.